Hey guys, Kid here of Burn1, back here with another video. This time it's a deck profile on Saekano. I realized that we actually never put out a profile on Saekano, so I figured I'd throw up the basic meta list here and talk a little bit about what makes this deck so powerful. So since this deck has been out for a while, I think most people understand how the deck works, but I'm going to run through it very quickly here. So the level 0 game has been basically unchanged for a long time now. The only difference sometimes is you do occasionally get a level 0 on play that lets you put a card from your hand to stock, and also has Twin Drive, which helps you trigger Gold Bar earlier if you need to find it and things like that, and occasionally get an extra stock to do like a Brainstorm or another play like that early on. But generally, this is the lineup for level 0. You get 4 drop searches that on reverse, they go to memory. They also have a secondary effect, which is very powerful. Just give another game character 2k power. This card enables your level 1 as well as 0 to kill things and other things like that. It's just a very powerful double combination here. And the fact that it does go to memory is very helpful, as well as later in the game you build up a crazy amount of memory to have very great compression, so your brainstorms hit very often as well as you cancel more often. We have 4 mill runners. This is kind of one of the other +1 choices at 0, as well as has another secondary effect that lets you send it to memory at the cost of 1 stock to be able to top check 4 to add a game character to the hand. This is often used for deck fixing and finding certain pieces. Great target to grab off of any gate triggers as well, or if you ever need to pay out stock. And it's basically free memory. Card is basically useless after level 0 as far as like a beater goes, other than just crashing into things. And it's also 1k power, so it doesn't really beat a lot. Next there is the JC. So commonly this card is used to save pieces. So for example, if you need to save your level 1 entities to fight back against the 2/2s dropped by 8 standby Dal, it's often used for that. Also used to save other random pieces if need be, also goes to memory, and as well as enables like early try fields very easily, since this is pay once into memory +1. Also becomes 2/5, so it's like the biggest power you can get without any power pumps at level 0. So attacking with this last, it becomes 2,500 power, since every card before that attacks, it gives it 1k. We play 2 of the level 0 Brainstormer. It has the effect to change into the level 1 Brainstormer as an act effect, commonly used in the combination of the level 1 event, which is really powerful as well because of these changes and the things that go to memory for free. It's a Brainstormer that searches. What else is there to really say? Finally, we have 3 on reverse Rickies that salvage any game character, so everything you're waiting is easy access. Another enabler for Trifield level 0. One of the big powerful things about this deck is that at level 0 you're able to Trifield, and the fact that you are able to Trifield very consistently also makes it so you're more likely to trigger a gold bar or a climax at plus early as well. Triggering the gold bar is really important because one of the main win conditions of this deck is to loop the level 1 combo. Onto level 1, this is the main game plan. You usually want like 2 of these out on the field if possible. They're basically 1055s with the climax gold bar on play. They gain the effect of Twin Drive, as well as when they get friend attacked, you can bounce it back to hand. The Twin Drive is really powerful in a deck like this, where gold bar is your main level 1 combo trigger, especially when you're looking to loop the combo. Being able to Twin Drive when you don't have a gold bar creates more opportunities to trigger a gold bar to get into your hand if you don't already have one, and also pay out any triggers along the way as well, or just need to like mill through your deck a little quicker. Really, really powerful card. One weakness to this card is that if your opponent's playing a field-based deck, it's sometimes hard to contest their level 1s. That's why you're forced into using the drop search entity in a way to be able to pump it if you need to get over some key level 1 stuff. Otherwise, as long as you're able to loop the combo with gold bar and using Twin Drive, siding level 1s doesn't feel too bad with this deck, because you still get the plus, and then if you have another gold bar following it, you can just kind of start looping the combo that way. It is kind of frustrating when you fight against Dal and other field-based decks like that, when you're forced to side multiple times, but in the long run, it's actually that isn't too bad for the deck having to do that multiple times. I played 2 of the entity. This is kind of one of those flex spots where you can play 1 and 1 if you want to play the Shimikai Utaha, where it Kato buffs the Kato buffer. Otherwise, I like playing this as a 2 of because I think it's really important, at least right now, for the standby Dal matchups. This card, as long as there's a card in memory, gains 2500 power, so it's a 1065 on your turn, like all the time. And when it has the effect, it also gains the effect that when this attacks a character that is level 2 across from it, the card gains 6000 power. This card can easily kill and compete against standby decks that crutch on really strong level 2s. The reason this is in the deck is because originally one of the major weaknesses I felt of the deck was that it couldn't fight very good standby decks, especially when they start slamming out multiple 2/2s on the field, or level 2s in general. This way, this does let you just like destroy their field and forces the standby deck to either 3-cost encore or like play more cards from hand. I'm going to skip the event for a second. Here we have the Brainstormer as a 4 of. It's really powerful because there is a change train basically on this. We go from the level 0 to the level 1, the level 1 to the level 2, and the level 2 to the level 3. Level 3 being our end game plan. So this Brainstormer is a search Brainstormer as well, but it has 2 other effects. One is during your turn, cards in front of this gain 500 power, making your 1/0 combo 7k basically when you play a climax, which is really powerful. And then the other one is you can pay once in this memory at climax phase to transform into the 2/1 level support, which also has the same effect too. At the start of your climax phase, if you're level 3 or higher, you can change into the level 3. This level 1 can only change into the level 2 when you're level 2. That way you can't cheat like the level 3 out early by like quickly changing over and over again very quickly. Card's very powerful once again because it goes to memory, it pays out climaxes, and then you can have the opportunity to abuse this event, which is really strong. So this event, before the second sync came out, almost saw no play. The effect itself is very powerful, but the cost was very, very costly in that you have to rest 2 of your game characters, and they can't stand during the next stand phase. So this card effect is you search for a game character added to hand, then pick a game character in your waiting room, put it to stock, and then you put this 1/0 event on the bottom of your deck. Because you have like these fairly efficient cost changing level 1s, level 0s, and stuff like that, and as well as these cards that go to memory during certain effects, you can tap down your back row easily, or even your front row if need be, with this event, and you gain get a hand fix as well as gain that extra stock. This enables situations where, like, one of the great plays I like to do with this is use it out on a fresh deck after a refresh to search out the early play level 3, making this early play level 3 essentially a cost 1, because you gain a stock off of using this as well as getting it to your hand. And then you can take the cards that you tapped. For example, if you tapped like the Brainstormer, you can sack the Brainstormer to bring out the 1/0 Brainstormer, and then now you don't have to deal with the actual cost of this event itself, and you still get to brainstorm that turn if you'd like to. Or even you can, if you have a second one in hand, you can do it again because you'll be able to tap this Brainstormer with another card, and then at the end of at the climax phase, change into the 2/1 that would be in your waiting room. Really powerful card. When I first got into the deck, it felt really awkward to play, but once you get used to it and look at lines of plays like that to abuse, it's really, really great. Super strong card. Like, you almost always want to draw it, but personally, I don't think 4. I think 4 is too much. 3 feels like a really good spot for it. Level 2, very simple. It's just 4 of the change into the level 3 that are also level supports. Good card overall. And 1 free fresh card. It's a pay 2 extra when you use this. So the deck does a lot of twin drives and stuff like that. So at level 2, if you hit a gate or something, or you triple trigger and hit a gate, this is a great target to grab, or just hold on to all game. In certain situations, the deck does become very compressed, and this is basically a heal one, or in like emergency button to be like, oh no, I just triple triggered my last 3 triggers of the deck, or climax of the deck. This gets me out of it as long as I have a field to counter with, which is really, really good. Finally, we have the level 3. Level 3 itself is very powerful. The main effect is that you need 4 more cards in memory to gain all the effects that it has. First one is gains 2k power. Second one is battle opponent can't use backups. And 4 more in memory means your opponent can't target this card. So it's a really tough card to deal with, as well as it also plays on play or on change, it heals, which is really strong right now in the meta. Like healing and just prolonging the game is really, really powerful because so many decks are becoming compressed like crazy, or have ways to push like a really crazy amount of damage. So being able to heal down to 3-0 consistently and forcing your opponent to deal 7 damage in a turn to kill you in 1 turn is really important right now, in my opinion. As well as a climax combo with Gate. Gate being a good trigger as always is. And then this card is whenever the battle opponent gets reversed, if you have the Gate Climax in play, you can pay 1 to burn 2. Burning 2 for the cost of 1 seems pretty good. The fact your opponent can't use backups 2 against it is always really good, because then as long as you're like 500 power over, you essentially know that your opponent can't do anything about you being able to reverse your battle opponent. Next here is we have the early play. It's 2 or less climaxes in waiting room. You can early play this. It also power pumps on attack to another character. Usually it's going to be a 2k power pump because 500 for every other character. Just solid early play overall, and can enable you to win 2 lanes with the power pump as well around at level 2. Finally, this is another flex spot. I've used this differently depending on what like my local meta is like. My favorite card to play here right now is actually the Utaha Shimikai Power Pump at level 1. That also lets you filter gold bars when you trigger them if you want to. This is also a common level 3 you could place here, as well as I believe there is a I'm forgetting her name now, but there is a Restander 2 you can play in this slot as well for another level 3, or if you feel like you can play another early play level 3. I think those are all good choices. This one lets you top check X, so generally going to be a top check 5 to find the climax or climax in general at level 3 if you're looking to finish. Recently, like I said, I've cut this for another power pump at level 1 just to try that out for a while. I'm not really sure what the right choice here is for this flex spot in itself, but any of the level 3s of your choice are very good picks, as well as like another level 1 power pump or even like a level 0. Then obviously Gold Bar and Gate are very powerful triggers, especially when you're looking to loop combos and just get very nice pluses. So to get into the general game plan of this deck, if you haven't already figured it out or seen this deck in play, the idea is just get a lot of memory at a fairly efficient cost, as well as already going along and with your game plan of being able to get into this, like, I don't want to say like a heal loopy situation, but being able to heal down really hard with a change package, fairly cost efficient, and healing down, and then using your combo to push small increments of 2s to close out the game. Another big thing about this is, since you efficiently send things to memory to save cards, to mill your deck, to search out your deck, things like that, as the game keeps going and going, and every time you refresh your deck just becomes stronger and stronger in the ability to cancel all the time, which is really, really powerful. Sometimes you actually look to crash your entire board because of your deck state. You'd rather have your opponent swing in for 2-2-2 or 3-3-3 or even 4-4-4 because you know you're going to cancel all those attacks because of how compressed your deck state is. And there's not a lot of cards actually interacting with memory right now. Though that's slowly changing as more sets come out. They are releasing more ways to interact with your memory and your opponent's memory, causing them to like put a bunch of cards back into their deck and things like that. Generally, this is one of, I think, the most solid like solitaire decks in the top meta right now. Basically, the top, definitely a top 3 deck for sure. I don't know if it's number 1, but it's definitely top 3 for sure, no matter what. I don't know if that's going to continue as the game goes on, as it's been becoming more and more aggressive. The meta has been, at least in my opinion. I don't know if that's going to be a trend to continue into 2021, but we'll see from there. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.